Hello YouTube and welcome to episodes 5 and 6 in the Chainsaw Man reaction series. Well, I say 5 and 6, but it should be 5 and 6, it might just be 5. We'll see. I may need to go today, so the recording will be finished tomorrow. You'll see me change clothes and all that. But the video should still be all the same for you guys. It just depends on if I can find the time tomorrow, which I should be able to, according to my schedule as of now. As I kind of said last week, this whole kind of double episode thing needs to be temporary because we can't really do double episodes forever, if that makes any sense. Because we'll just catch up to where the anime is, and I don't really want to do that. So we'll see how we go. Might just do one, might do two. Either way, you'll know by the time I stop speaking. Had a few comments last week that I just wanted to dive into and have a little look at. First comment here by Longinus. Longinus? I'm going to say Longinus. When you said that Denji and Araragi share some similarities, it reminded me that Fujimoto actually referenced Monogatari when writing a certain scene of Chainsaw Man. The scene I'm referring to is far ahead into the story, that we are possibly talking about Chainsaw Man Season 3 if they don't rush the anime's production, so it's not worth talking about now or thinking about now. What is interesting, though, is that if he referenced Nishio Sin once, it's possible he did it elsewhere, so finding connections between character writing and motives is completely plausible. He continues in his reply. Also, yeah, big Kensuke Ushio fan here. He is exceptional. My favorite soundtrack of his is the Heike Story OST. A masterpiece anime with a masterpiece soundtrack. Couldn't ask for more. Heike Monogatari is massively underrated. People should really check that show out. I mean, it's Yamada and Ushio. Like, how can you go wrong? And especially when you consider Heike Monogatari as kind of a piece in the whole Yamada processing Kyoto animation fire. Think about it from that lens, it becomes fucking awesome. And yeah, the soundtrack there is standout. I keep thinking about that last scene. The tension in the soundtrack is immense. Anyway, that's a whole other story for another day and a whole other show that I should have reacted to, but I didn't. Back to the original comment, though. Yeah, I could see some similarities between the two characters for sure. I'm not sure if it's direct reference or just, I don't know, similar ideas. Either way, I'll keep an eye out for it. I mean, Monogatari is a pretty influential piece of media through anime production in the 2010s, so you'll see more of it happening into the future, you would imagine. More Monogatari esque stuff, maybe. Or maybe it's already happened, and because I haven't watched Monogatari, I didn't notice it. Anyway, thank you, Longinus, for the comment. Next comment from Seraph Armoros. I think the Bat Devil thought Denji's blood was disgusting because he has devil blood. Now, yeah, this is probably the interpretation of that scene, considering the other blood he eats, I believe, is Powers and then has a similar reaction. Again, this kind of linking between what Denji's got and what Powers got. Kind of this almost fiend type operation. And then yeah, the Bat Devil's like, hey, I'm gonna wash my mouth out with like child blood or something. So yeah, again, makes sense. Something I probably missed. And the last comment here by Kramer. Mappa really had us staring at Makima's ass for a whole 10 seconds. Yes. The ED was done by Maximum the Hormone. They did the Crackhead Death Note OP2, and I was hoping they would be doing the intro for the show since their style of music matches the vibe of the show. The ED they did was killer, and it highlights how metal this show is. Lol. I need to check out that band. Their contribution to the Chainsaw Man soundtrack has been really cool. And I've actually gone back and watched that ED again. It's really good. In the ED, where Makima is dressed, looking oh so ethereal and reaching out to Denji while he's naked and reaching out to her is definitely referencing Creation of Adam, painting by Michelangelo, which resides in the Sistine Chapel, or it's referencing Assumption of Virgin Mary by Bartolome Murillo? Again, I'm bad with names. Yeah, kind of conflating kind of this Renaissance art, godly stuff with his perception of Makima. Makes a lot of sense. And helps the, art students on the art team get to flex their muscles too. It's always good. Fiends completely taking over Corpse. Blood Devil sounds very strong, but being a fiend very weakens your power. But power is special. She can control herself, unlike the fiend in episode 2. I wonder if there's a reason for this or it's just random. But yeah, I picked up on this as well. There's this Blood Devil is supposedly very strong. It takes over Power's body and not crazy. We'll see. The way the Bat Devil just drops the human after Denji yells about how he hasn't gotten to cop a feel yet, he was in complete disbelief. He was probably wondering, am I seriously about to get taken out by this dude? Imagine if this came out during the pandemic, Bat Devil would be OP. Yes, very much so. Again, we're talking to Denji as a little bit of a. I keep saying Araragi-esque, but that's really my only frame of reference. But kind of this, it's almost subversive. You know what I mean? Where it's your typical shonen hero, very pure motivations, all this other stuff, and we're playing off of that, and we're making comedy out of that by his motivations being somewhat impure. But he still does a lot of heroic things, and he's still very likable, so it works as a protagonist. Yeah, I mean, it's not the only show to have ever done this. Of course, there's satirical and, somewhat tongue in cheek media that takes the protagonist a little bit, you know, out of its traditional form. But yeah, I'm liking this interpretation in Chainsaw Man for sure. Also, no Pochita or devilish side taking over him. It's just Denji being Denji. Denji is different to an Itadori situation. Of course, Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen, who, yes, has very much a kind of malevolent being inside of him trying to take over. It's pretty much the entire plot. That Makima and Aki meeting at night scene and Aki's morning routine are completely original. Mappa flexing hard in Chainsaw Man, there's a lot of original scenes later as well. Fantastic, can't wait for it. This is something I noticed in, this could be a weird reference, but Teasing Master Takagi-san, they did a bunch of anime original stuff there and it really added to the experience. So if you have a deep understanding of the source material and what makes it tick and want to add stuff, I'm more than happy for you to do it. Please do so. And yeah, these are two of my favorite scenes, especially the Makima Aki scene, and I'm guessing Aki Hayakawa because I'm calling him Hayakawa, but I digress. Yeah, one of my favorite scenes in the show so far. Very subtle. I love Makima in that scene. You don't question anything when higher up mentions Soviet, it's past Russian name. Since the time is set around the 80s and the 90s, that's why there's no cell phones. I didn't pick up on kind of the time period of the show. That's actually interesting that it's set a little bit into the past. It kind of fits this kind of movie aesthetic they have going on as well. And I don't know, it's not beyond government higher ups to still be calling countries by their old names. So I didn't think it was particularly weird, but now that you've said it was based in the 80s and 90s, makes sense. Before the breakdown of the Soviet bloc and all that stuff. This here's an excerpt from a French magazine, I'm guessing with Fujimoto or somebody like that. Do you have any particular methods of characterization? I draw inspiration from works that I love. For example, in Chainsaw Man, the character of Power invokes Eric Cartman from South Park, a series that I adore. I also tried to recapture with Denji and Pochita the same dynamic as Finn and Jake from Adventure Time. I'm unsure about that last one, except for a little bit in the character design. And Eric Cartman as Power, I guess they're both like trolls. But yeah, I've seen a lot of South Park as well, so I don't know. Eric Cartman's a little bit more evil than Power is to this point. But yeah, again, they both just troll their friends, basically. And are very annoying, but kind of in an endearing way as well. Sometimes for Cartman. Either way, that's it for the comments this week. Just going to jump into my recap of last week's 2 episodes. I've kind of gone in a little bit deep here, so we'll see how we go. Episode 3 starts with Denji and Power being reprimanded by Makima for getting in the way of another private devil hunter's job. Apparently, there's private devil hunters and they kind of stole his kill, so to say. Power says that she only did it under Denji's command, but Makima demands that they not make a similar mistake again. Power gets to talking about how she hates humans due to her devilish roots, but also can't stand devils because a certain devil took Meowie away. Meowie's kind of her former pet cat. Now cats are her only friends. Initially, Denji blows this off, but Power offers to let him touch her breasts, and then he becomes very interested in saving this cat. Denji checks Power out of the public safety building, and they make their way out towards where Meowie is kept. Denji and Power kind of fail to see eye to eye on anything during this little scene on, like, the tram. Kind of Power talking about Pochita living in Denji's heart and how that's not really what's happening. But she comes around eventually. Meanwhile, Makima has like a scary meeting involving some boss type operators who say that the devils may be starting to be used for war. Therefore, they need skilled and reliable devil hunters, like right now, to help protect against this threat. Makima says she has some interesting candidates. I think she says she has one that's promising and one that's interesting. And then we get to this conversation about the kind of the power system. It's based on a level of fear. So somebody like a blood devil who inhabits power would be very feared because there's a lot of people that are scared of blood. A lot of people that are scared of bats. Bat devil's powerful. A lot of people that are scared of chainsaws. So is the chainsaw man potentially very powerful and just needs to awaken to knowing so? I think that's maybe the case. While chauffeuring Makima away, Hayakawa notes of Denji's naivete, and this is right as Denji walks into a trap. So Power set a trap. Actually, the Bat Devil said, "Hey, you need to bring me a human corpse, and then I'll give you your cat back." So Power finally got her human corpse and brought him to where the Bat Devil is. The Bat then drinks some of Denji's blood and immediately strengthens up because he was a bit weak for some reason, I forget. Now the Bat Devil is strong and looking for more prey. Power, who is waiting patiently for Meowie, is betrayed when the devil just eats Meowie right in front of Power. We get a flashback to when Power lived kind of naked in the woods and found Meowie, initially trying to fatten the cat up to eat later, but getting attached. Power now sees what Denji was talking about before, and then Power is then eaten by the same Bat Devil. Denji then powers up, kind of thinking back to a time that Pochta was lost and using that as like fuel for his fighting, if that makes any sense. And then as well as using the motivation of seeing some tits to power up as well. Or not seeing some tits, grabbing some tits. There's a distinction there. Cool action scene happens where Denji saves two people before disregarding the life of another, kind of losing himself there for a moment, I believe. But in this process, he also powers up sufficiently enough to defeat the Bat Devil. Episode 4 then starts, we get a power flashback, further displaying the desperation Power had for getting Meowie back, kind of this conceit about blood, and blood being warm and liking that aspect of blood, again, talking to the human side of Power. We flash then back forward to Power and Meowie sitting in kind of a pool of blood and guts that the Bat Devil kind of evacuated out of his body, and Denji's there asking for a feel. Denji is then interrupted by another devil at the scene, the Leech Devil, who is terrifying, and they kind of just duke it out a bit. The story relevant stuff in the fight comes in the form of Power being impressed by Denji's devilness, whilst Denji challenges the notions of these noble dreams versus his kind of boob dream, which is less noble. However, these convictions are not strong enough as Denji needs to be saved by Hayakawa and his cool Kitsune Power in the end. There's also some new characters here now that we might see a little bit later in these two episodes. As Denji is recovering in hospital, Hayakawa makes him spill the beans about the incident. Denji still stands by Power in all of this. Hayakawa is conflicted from the reports of people that got attacked by the Bat Devil and makes Denji kind of agree to a compromise to do whatever Hayakawa says. So Hayakawa kind of saw that two people said, "Hey, Denji saved me," and then another one's like, "Denji disregarded me." So he's conflicted in that way. Either way, Denji kind of agrees to whatever Hayakawa says. It is then revealed that Power was on the other side of the door and that Denji's words made a significant impact on her verdict. Himeno, I think is the eye patch character's name, stresses that Power could still be dangerous, but Hayakawa says that they won't be friends and it's strictly a business relationship. Hayakawa then goes to report this situation to Makima, and based on Denji's word, lies to Makima about the incident. Makima, I think, sees through this very well and pries to see if Hayakawa has changed, and Hayakawa brushes this statement off. Hayakawa was also trying very hard to impress Makima in this scene. Hayakawa then wakes up the next morning. It's a nice, peaceful morning, has his coffee, reads his paper, does some odd jobs around the house. Again, he's very, particular about his stuff. Next thing we know, the door swings open and Power is there with the suitcase. Makima says that Power is to stay with Hayakawa and that, yeah, she's going to try to behave. She's like the worst roommate ever, by the way. She clogs the toilet and doesn't bathe, and yeah, she's bad. Then Power kind of takes Denji aside and says, "Hey, it's boob time," and that's kind of where we ended. He gets 3 squeezes, so we're going to see how that manifests in this episode. In that, we're going to do some predictions. It was a pretty self-contained little 2-episode arc last time around Power, so I guess Titty is our main through point going forward, so we'll see if there's a direct continuation here. And if that is the case, then Denji is going to need a new dream. So maybe that's where we're going next. Those other characters maybe get some genuine screen time. We get to see what they're about. That is Himeno, and then there was Hairclip, Blushy-chan, and the guy in the back that had no real distinguishing qualities. He was tall, I guess. And I think Makima is going to continue to be a little bit sus. But again, that's pretty par for the course at this point. Either way, gonna jump into episode 5 right now, but not before I do my shill stuff. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. And the Discord, join the Discord, discuss Chainsaw Man, discuss new video ideas, discuss anything else. Yeah, just gonna jump into episode 5 of Chainsaw Man right now. Rightio, got episode 5 of Chainsaw Man up here ready to go. Again, there will be another version of this in the description, the picture-in-picture version. The time code on this episode is 23 minutes and 55 seconds, so sync up accordingly. And yeah, we're just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Rightio? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Where are we? Oh, we're still in the same scene, okay. Alright, calm down, big dog. You got this. I don't know if the eyes closed makes it worse or better. Yep. Both? Stop. He just achieved his dream. Excuse me? Have I been duped? So her chest really isn't that big? Oh no. What a nightmare. But the first one didn't count. Come on. He's like a man possessed. The voice acting's really good. Was that worth it? I don't know what he's thinking. Well, the first one didn't count. Come on. Well, look at the cat go. He's been betrayed. Was it all worth it? I guess that's where we're going, huh? I don't know. Depends on your perspective. Maybe it's only Makima. Now, this opening does bang, but it is a little bit on the louder side. Okay. I don't know, is breast pads cheating? I'm guessing Denji thinks so. I guess what we're getting at is, what if your dream isn't what you thought it was once you achieve it? Is it going to be a question of motivation now? I guess he's still after Makima. I can't stress enough how much I love the tone of this so far. It's serious enough that, hey, there's stakes and stuff, and the characters, you know, have stuff that they're doing. That it's not like the end of the world, you know? We're still having fun. I think that's important. You know, you build up into it. You don't start with the world ending. Pretty good. Are you eating vegetables yet? Okay, now she's still the worst. He's zombified. Oi. I love a good chop. So much paperwork. Hmm. That was a really good looking stamp. Question of motivation. We could find a new thing. And to keep the cycle going, right? Touch mine instead? Or not? I mean, yeah. The hand touching, insane. Intimate hand holding. ASMR, like, look at this ASMR shit. And then, like, almost like the blood again, huh? Warm blood. I'm sure Pochita probably did, but this is a little bit, this is a little bit different. A little bit different of a bite. Yes, ma'am. Right away, ma'am. But you're also, like, evil. Well, maybe not evil, but definitely manipulative. And you're really good at it. And maybe I want to be manipulated, but, you know. Is that one a little bit better? You like that one? He almost had a heart attack. It was that good, apparently. Oh my goodness. Ma'am? ASMR Chan. The red is very interesting. Who is the gun devil? America. Funny. Yeah? There's your motivation, big dog. Your Denji. Miss Makima. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Man, I'm dead. From second base to third, huh? And with a different person that you're perhaps more enamored with. Okay, I missed what that said, but whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah? Okay. This is very real. But you said this was in the 90s. Has nothing changed in America from the 90s? Okay. Okay. Is that okay that you're doing that? In the snow when you're unwell? It's these quiet scenes, you know. What's wrong? Hang out with your little brother. Don't be weird. This guy, I don't know, I'm getting Persona vibes off that guy. I don't know why. Beautiful. The effects on the snow there. Then POV shot. We love our POV shots in the show. Putting you in the eyes of the character. There you go. We can be nice. I'm sure nothing tragic's going to happen at all. It's all going to be good forever. No conflict. The movement there was kind of mad. Okay, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So where was this? Can't say I expected that. He doesn't look like he's especially interested. Chainsaw is stronger than gun. What if you had some help? Funny. Yeah, that's the first step. Can you use those to find him? Okay. They're like magnets. And then it'll. Okay, gotcha. I see. I see. Okay, so we have to take down devils to find pieces of the gun devil to go kill gun devil. Oh. 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 Okay. All right. It's all starting to make sense. Okay. All right. We're going in as a team. Cool. And then you've got a piece too, do you? Great. That's obviously another manga shot too. You can tell. No. Can you please act interested? Like a little bit? Stop. Yeah, okay. We'll shut up. Great. Again, like a dog, maybe. It's a good question. Yeah. Neither am I. I mean, you two don't get rights. Or from like everything else that's going on in his like life. I'll kill you. Wait, what happened this morning? It's a kiss on the cheek. Really, after all we've done, is a kiss on the cheek really gonna do it for you? Okay, it reminded him of his other motivation. Gotcha. Meat chunks. Not quite. Yeah, that's kind of it. You could learn her name, that'd be a good start. Oh, that's a step up. That's got him interested. Yeah, I mean, they're very easy to manipulate. It's true. Oh, look at that shot. Oh my goodness. Must be tough for old Hayakawa. Okay, it's admirable. Kobeni. She's got the moves apparently. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Oh, is this from the explosion? Hmm. Hello, Aki. I don't know what I'm going to call him, Aki or Hayakawa. It really doesn't matter. You know who I'm talking about. Either way, it looks like Himeno has her baggage as well. Ooh, interesting. So please be of some use. That same line, huh? Yeah, where's this devil? Excuse me. behind that door? I don't even know what we're hunting. Or that door? Hello? You little freak. I'm guessing you're a bit more scary than you look, though. Alright, got one. You're right, she is a little bit squeamish. But apparently she has the moves. Yeah, it wasn't you. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it is pretty slick. That was just some small fry. Heading up, maybe. We trust you. Or, I mean, we don't, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's a ghost. Oh, that's cool. Playing with perspective again there. Denji's a little bit cheeky there. Alright, these are all predator shots. Very scary, high angle. Like something's chasing them, you know? Do they go around in circle? Yeah. What is happening? Hmm. Backrooms-esque. Well, there's still the same bloodstain. That's a way bigger clue that something's up. Oh, I love that shot. Oh, the music too. Interesting. Okay. So this is our jump off into our next little conflict. That's a really good looking horse. Fun. What's with the unicorn? Who is that? Again, the Renaissance, huh? This one's extremely visually interesting. There's so much going on. Lots of horses all through it, though. That's a cool design. Oh, that looks incredible. Do you have any idea how hard that is to animate? Anyway. Radio, time to jump to a little bit of analysis on episode 5. So yeah, pretty interesting little episode there, I thought. Kind of split into two halves in a way. Well, with some interconnecting tissue between the two. The first half was very Denji focused, kind of around his dream being fulfilled, and then what's next. His dream wasn't all it cracked up to be, so why should I try hard for my next dream? And then we get a little bit more motivation, right? It's still a very similar motivation, but it's with a different person. Somebody that takes it a little more seriously than Power. Power with, the whole breast pad situation and everything else there. So then the connective tissue between the two halves is this gun devil. So this gun devil that also happened to maybe kill somebody else's entire family right in front of him. And then we find out who that somebody is, and it's a great revelatory moment. We're still kind of continuing on this conflict between Hayakawa and Denji, right? Where it's about taking it seriously. And in the most base way, it's probably also a competition for Makima as well. Since Denji is obviously very interested, and I think Hayakawa is interested as well. So, and then we're doing a little bit of death flag stuff too. I don't know if it's Himeno who might die, or maybe Hayakawa. We'll see. I thought there was a particular line that was interesting about not dying. So if you say somebody's not going to die, they're either going to make some kind of heroic sacrifice for you, or some tragedy will befall them, or somebody else is going to make a sacrifice and it's going to reinterpret how we think about this relationship. And yeah, I think something is on the cards in that respect as well. Either way, Denji's got a new goal, kind of same as the old goal. Still not taking it especially seriously, but that's his way. Maybe it takes a death of somebody to make him take it seriously a little bit, or maybe Denji's just Denji and he's going to be doing this the whole time. Either way, we'll see. We got a little bit of group character interactions there. I am intrigued by Himeno. I think she seems like a cool character. Again, the other two don't really have much going on yet. Again, there's one that's very, oh no, blushy's the wrong word. I don't know why I keep saying blushy. Like scared, timid. This one that's very timid and kind of this hardworking, honest, big guy. We still don't really know what they do, but we'll see. We'll see how this evolves from here. We're kind of setting up a larger conflict. I'm wondering if it's going to be over by the end of episode 6. Either way, I'll get the episode up here and talk about a few things in a little more detail. Just in general, again, the production was pretty fantastic. There's some absolute wow moments in the animation that I thought were really well done. In general, just directed well, especially if we're going to contrast this first scene with the scene with Makima and how intimate it was. But yeah, let's just jump right in and see what we can say. So the first scene here, we have kind of the continuation of the end of episode 4. Denji is going to cop his feel. And I will say we got pretty etchy here until you find out that these are, breast pads. I think it's kind of funny where obviously here she's playing it up, but later on she's not playing it up as much and is maybe a little more into it and then telling him to stop. That's a little bit more etchy than I thought the show would go for sure. But anyway, the whole point here is to show Denji's dissatisfaction with what's going on. Despite looking forward to it so much, despite trying to kill two devils to get to it. I'm still of the belief you shouldn't count the kind of rope with the breast pads. That's not very fair, is it? So he kind of did get punked here as well. I guess they're smaller. I guess. Yeah, she's very quick to call it. A little bit of a blush. Something going on there. I think it's pretty slick how she leaves here and then the cat just jumps straight on her shoulder. They really are besties. I like this relationship. I don't know. I'm not a cat person, but this cat seems alright. And yeah, it's the prevailing feeling of that's it, which continues after the opening as well. And into breakfast, where Power is still being the worst. She's asking for seconds, kind of knocking over Denji's soup in the process as well. And yeah, he's still kind of zombified by the whole experience, a little bit jaded by this whole pursuit perhaps. And again, I can understand some people finding Power obnoxious, but I just love it. So I'm not going to complain about this. I even like the outfit. She's like rolled up the kind of suit pants. Don't do that. It's a terrible fashion, but it kind of works for her. I've even got kind of the same shoes. They got almost them Deku kicks. I really like how we're highlighting how bureaucratic this whole place is too. We got to stamp and do a bunch of, we're a government organization, right? We got to do all the paperwork associated with stuff as well as hunt devils. I think it's an interesting choice, perhaps in an attempt to make it a little more relatable for those just starting working. So hey, at some point in your working life, hey, you're going to be doing some cool stuff, right? You're going to be slaying demons and devils and all that kind of stuff. But most of the time, you're just going to be stamping documents. I don't know, works for me at least. Anyway, Makima, being the good reader of people that she is, kind of pries into Denji's situation. Is there something bothering you, Denji? He says maybe I would be happier during the chase if what I achieve is as disappointing as it was before. Which again, there's some truth to that, What's the saying about the journey? It's about the journey, not the destination. That's the saying, of course. And I do think there's some truth to that. But again, Makima pries further. And yeah, Denji's just straight out with it. He said, yeah, I touched boobs for the first time and it wasn't all that great. And then Makima turns it on immediately, right? It's like, okay. So this guy was that motivated to kill, well, or try to kill two devils, essentially, by just touching breasts. The idea clicks, right? We've got this gun devil. I believe in this guy's potential. I think he's very interesting. Let's try to get him involved there. And then we're going to flick on. We're going to flick on the persona. And I will say, she does a great job. So all the hand touching stuff, I think, is very well done. Um, very ASMR is the vibes I get off of her. The voice kind of sells it as well. Whoever the VA is, she's doing a great job, I believe. And of course, Denji is just enamored by the whole situation. It might just be a hand, but something about it feels a lot better than that breast before. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the person and how you feel towards said person. I noted during the reaction there's kind of this spill of the stamp liquid as well. It talks to this warm blood idea that I think we're going to keep following. Human, devil, blood, lots of ideas could be said here. There's also something about the scissors there, and then maybe biting of the finger. There's something in this for sure. I would say it's very visually consistent with what they're trying to do. Yeah, I mean, put it this way: you simps may have been on the right track with this one. I don't know. Very relatable to Denji's position right now. And then yeah, he cops a feel here, and you know, he I think he likes this one a little bit better than the previous. Enough to the point where he has a heart attack, apparently. Alright, man, you do you. Oh, and then the positioning there, like both legs over him and then squatting down. Very interesting. And then yeah, we got to beat the gun devil. That's what we're gonna do. So I did that. I'm gonna say the gun devil. Then I'm gonna offer something similar to what I just did. Again, okay. It's like she's done classes for this, Makima. She's very good at it. This whole manipulation thing. And again, I don't think there's anybody left anywhere that doesn't see through this. I hope. I hope you don't think that her intentions are pure, because I don't think they are. And if they are pure, then the show's doing a bad job at demonstrating that they are pure. I think she's got ulterior motives, as demonstrated by that scene in, I think it was episode 3. Either way, Gun Devil. Focus on the Gun Devil. It appeared in America 13 years ago. So the comments kind of said that the show was like in the 90s or the 80s, hence no cell phones, hence some of the architecture as well, hence some of the costuming. So 13 years ago, there was lobbying for, gun control and that kind of thing, and a lot of fear around guns. Flash to 2022, and a lot of the same arguments are still happening. I mean, I don't want to shit on America, but, it's a little bit funny. And here's the new dream for Denji. I'll make any wish of yours come true if you defeat the gun devil for me. And then he's like, anything? And she's like, yeah, anything. And then he's like, anything? And then she's like, yeah, anything. And it kind of continues on from there for a bit. He's in disbelief. And she knows exactly what he wants, and, wrapped around her little finger, of course. People were trying to profit off guns as a countermeasure against devils across the world, which resulted in an increase in crime and conflict. The news focused on it non-stop for a while, with people more afraid of gun violence than ever. Then a major armed terrorist attack happened in America. And we got a burning building there. I don't want to say it, but we're all thinking it, right? That was the day the gun devil appeared. And then we jump to a little flashback. And at first I was like, okay, so some gun devil's going to show up and shoot the parents or something, right? And again, I had no idea who the characters in the scene were. So it's very interesting that they're always hiding this character's eyes, well, at least initially, and then hiding his hair and hiding his name. And you could see it a little bit in the eyes, but at this point it's a pretty generic enough design that you could just imagine it's somebody else in the show. We later learn that it is Hayakawa, or maybe I'm wrong, but at least heavily implied to be, and his entire family got killed right in front of him. So, I mean, it makes sense. Put it this way, I'm 99% sure it is. Anyway, the details of the scene are kind of generic, so I'm going to brush over it. Brother is sick, but evidently still wants to spend time with the big brother. Big brother's initially a little bit hesitant to hang out with the little brother. Again, I've got a little brother. I understand the whole idea there. Eventually starts to have fun, and then the little brother's going to go into the house, and something happens. I still think we're nailing our quiet moments, though. I thought this was really well done. Again, buoyed by one Kensuke Uchiho, who is fantastic at everything he does. So, again, I don't think an episode's gone by without me praising him in some way. I like how initially you think the scene is going to go one way and then it goes a different way and then it goes a different way again. I thought it was going to be a big brother shuns little brother, sends little brother inside, tragedy happens. And then it's like, hey, he actually starts to get into it, and then they leave on good terms, and then I'm like, okay, they're going to be fine. And then tragedy strikes. And I think they do that very well. Got me invested anyway, and then, all gone. Even if I laughed in the moment, it was a little bit, it's still very sad. So I think they've rotoscoped this kid inside. There's something about him stepping up the steps that's very impressive for sure. I should say he goes inside to grab some gloves. Hayakawa waves, and house gets destroyed. Like, almost entirely immediately, to the point where I don't know how you're alive. But anyway, in a little under 5 minutes, 1.2 million people were killed. So that is the biggest disaster of all time in the universe ever. It's almost unrealistic to have Denji not hear about it. Again, he had his own stuff going on, of course, and I'm not sure he had really access to the news, but it's surely something that somebody would talk to him about. So fear of devils across the board rose from this because large disaster caused by devils, increased devil power through increased fear of devils, increases funding for maybe the public safety, and leads us to where we are today. So gun control and censorship on the news started to pass because of fear of this gun devil. So fear makes him stronger. So if we shun the guns away and limit the gun exposure, makes society safer, then he's going to weaken eventually. Again, if he has the power to kill 1.2 million people in 5 minutes, he's pretty strong. I'm not quite sure of the Japanese pun here, but I think they do a decent job of translating it. So then we have this device, and this is very Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought this is almost like a Sukuna finger. So this is a piece of the gun devil that we've collected. It's like a devil made of bullets, I'm guessing. All of his bodies may be bullets. That'll be visually impressive if we ever get to see him. And the bullets are attracted to each other, so if we get a large enough chunk of the bullets together, it'll show us where the gun devil is. But the thing is, if you swallow one of these things, you become very strong. So we have to kill a lot of very strong devils to get more bullets to eventually find the gun devil. Hence why later we're all going as a group together to fight this one devil that is suspected of having a bullet. So this fish insect devil ate a bullet, obviously. And here's where we get our little revelation, our little gut punch. And yeah, if you didn't see it there, hey, that kid from the flashback, it's Hayakawa. And yeah, it all fits into place. His family dying right in front of him, his intense hatred of devils, his almost stoic kind of nature. Again, all kind of by design. I'm imagining it hurts to get too emotional after seeing something like that. They also posited the question of somebody maybe feeding these bullets to other creatures to make them stronger, which is definitely a possibility. And then, hey, we got the whole squad together. It's time to go fight some devils. And that's where we lead into our next half of the episode. So maybe I guess it's because I know Hayakawa's backstory now, and maybe this is the point, but Denji and Power's flippantness, which was normally, a bit of a likable trait, comes off as really dickish here. Like, come on, man. Like, he's trying to take this seriously. You guys just standing in the way all the time isn't interesting. It's just annoying. Again, I think he deals with it in the right way. Hey, I'll give you 2 gum if you, shut up. And then this is pretty funny, like the Hayakawa senpai. Yeah, that's pretty good. What prank are they talking about in the morning that Hayakawa's pissed about? Again, I don't know. Either way, they're talking about kind of, hey, can we trust these two if they're this, nonchalant about this important job? Can we trust them to have our back in disaster? They're actually going to care about us. And they can't. It's their job to kind of keep them under control, in a way. And how are we going to keep them under control? I think Himeno has some ideas. And here's the reward: a kiss on the cheek from yours truly. Himeno's going to give whoever slays the demon or devil a kiss on the cheek. And I forget this guy's name, but it gets him super flustered. It's pretty obvious that he likes Himeno. And I'm not sure Himeno would mind if old Hairclip Chan won as well. Seems to be very touchy-feely with her. Denji thinks back to his little conversation with Makima and thinks, "Hey, no, this isn't right for me. I've only got eyes for one lady, and I've already got something better on the cards." Himeno even says here that's a hell of a thing to say in front of Aki. So Aki clearly likes Makima, so that's the connection there. They're both it's ironic that they're both kind of motivated by similar things. So then we increase the stakes a little bit more. Hey, it's not just going to be a kiss on the cheek, it's going to be a kiss on the lips with tongue. We love that with tongue part, don't we, Denji? And yeah, that's enough to get old Denji interested anyway. I like this walk, I think it's quite humorous. There's one shot where the animation's actually quite sick on the wide. So yeah, Himeno offers a kiss with tongue as the reward. Again, it doesn't take Denji much to lose his sight of what he actually wants. Again, much like a dog. If we want to keep bringing that up, like, it's the older, the movie Up. It's like the dog there, squirrel, like that. It's kind of how his mind's going at the moment. Yeah, here. Like, I know I'm on 2x speed, but you know how insanely difficult shots like that are? It's like, yeah. They're pulling out all the stops for sure. So we get a little bit of introduction here by Himeno on the rookies. This is Arai. I should try to remember these names because they're pretty important. So Arai is the bigger, kind of very rules-based guy, it seems. Very by the book, very honest. And Kobeni is the kind of timid, meek one with the hair clips. Apparently she's got the moves, but she's really timid. So it might be like I just flick the switch, right? She might just start killing things. Like, she might be super confident at the flick of a switch. Again, there's probably some kind of devil backing each of these people. Himeno's got the ghost devil, of course, which has to be very strong because there's lots of people very scared of ghosts. So apparently most people in this organization kind of quit or go private after a year. Nobody really sticks around. And this prompts this line out of Himeno: "Don't die on Miyaki." This takes us back into another flashback. So I'm guessing this mass graveyard that they're in is the graveyard based on the 1.2 million people that died. And again, Himeno's probably got some baggage from that whole disaster as well as some other things. She's had 6 partners in the past, and all of them have died because they were not competent. They didn't take it seriously. They were all shit, basically. And yeah, it brings us back to the exact same line. He's done well enough so far. Don't die on Miyaki. Again, this is obviously a setup, I think, for somebody dying. Either Himeno or Hayakawa. I'd imagine Himeno because, again, you kill your senpais and then the kohais, rise up to replace. And it seems like Hayakawa's a mean enough character to where they would do something like this, but again, I digress. And here's where we see the devil start to appear. We kind of get this POV Kubrick-esque hallway shot as well, which I like. And then this monstrosity. Hello. It immediately goes after Kobeni, to which it is stopped by Himeno's ghost hand and killed by power. And we're like, great, job done. That's obviously not job done, but we're explaining Himeno's power here. Again, ghost arm. She sold one of her eyes for a ghost arm, or the ghost devil's arm, and it can grab anything. It's kind of like a third appendage that nobody can see. Pretty strong weapon, I would say. Now, particular point is we take note of this blood splatter, because it will be used later. So power jokingly threatens Kobeni like once, and immediately the arm comes out. And yeah, of course, you can't touch the ghost arm. It is not visible, not kind of touchable, but it still very much works. It's essentially like force choke, if you think about it, right? We got a lot of these predator shots, right? There was this shot right here that I'll find. So there's this one here, and then this one here as well. Very high angle, something's above you looking down at its prey. So we're not out of the woods yet, of course. And there's that blood splatter that we saw before, the exact same one. Then the music starts to build, and yeah, it gets very horror movie. I mentioned the back rooms during the reaction as well. It's almost like that in a way, right? We're in a kind of space that doesn't make sense. stuck on the 8th floor of this establishment. If ever we go upstairs, we end up on the kind of going up to the same floor, and if ever we go downstairs, we go from the top down. So we're stuck on this floor, and we've got to discover what's going on this floor. Whoever this devil is, it seemingly has created its own kind of weird space where it operates in. Initially, Denji still isn't taking it very seriously. And yeah, we end on Kobeni going, basically, like she's scared. It also makes me think that there's going to be some kind of kick-ass moment from her later on. Up to this point, she's been pretty useless, but apparently she does have the moves. And then we get a unique ED, which I'm probably not equipped at all to talk about how cool it is. Again, we're almost in like, what are those like paintings of all the mirrors and kind of this weird space that doesn't make a lot of sense, with all the staircases as well. It's almost like that in design. It's like a mirror room crossed with that. The use of horses here is basically throughout the entire ED. In this room in particular, we have the kind of bed on the ceiling and almost like a urinal in the middle of the room. It's meant to not make much sense, right? It's meant to be abstract. Create a sense of isolation. Again, there's no way out of this room that we're looking at right now. And there's a lot of that in this ED. I like how the ED is matching the themes of the episode that we've seen up to this point. The song's cool, probably not as cool as the songs previous, but it is what it is. But I think visually it's one of the more interesting ones. Yeah, see, even a direct reference up there with the staircases. Isn't this like a optical illusion, or like a famous one, right? Like it always seems like they're elevating, but it's impossible for somebody to keep elevating continuously, if that makes any sense. It's almost like what's happening with the staircases. Everyone's at odd angles here. They're all kind of not in their correct place. A little bit lost. Here's that same kind of horse idea again, but with a stuffed unicorn. I'm not quite sure what we're doing with Himeno as a centaur, but sure. We get the blood splatter up to another... Again, that's almost like Jesus, right? Pulling Jesus down from the cross and through the heart. It's like, yeah, interesting. Again, like Christian imagery, Renaissance paintings associated with Makima. Like she is the savior. Two sides to Makima, maybe. Are we talking to that here? Bunch of stained glass. She's always in that room that's always lit in the exact same way, right? This is interesting too. Bunch of different faces on power here through all the mirrors. Here's that horse idea again, but it's got 6 legs and it's almost lizard-esque. And again, we're continuously like zooming in and like falling and the stairs and yeah, the CD is fantastic. I don't know if I've said that yet, but just on a visual level, it's stunning. And here's the kind of end design of our whole horse thing. It's got essentially gun parts. I think I see like bullet chains. I don't know what you call them. Kind of a lot of bullets down below it, and a lot of guns making up the back of the legs, and kind of fingers over the eyes. If that horse is our monster design, then I think we're in good hands. And then we end on this insanely impressive shot of Denji. Like, I don't know. Again, kind of 2D person, 3D movement around, very hard to do. It kind of started with a bunch of mirrors, ends with all the characters folding in on Denji, demonstrating his importance. And yeah, I think I'm going to jump into episode 6 tomorrow. We'll see you then. Yeah, but this was very interesting up to this point. I'm just wondering where we go next. I'm wondering if we get some definite kind of conclusion stuff in regards to this separate arc, if that makes any sense at all. Either way, I'll catch you tomorrow, which will be 5 seconds from now, for the next episode. Radio. Catch you later. Yeah, hello, hi. I'm back. It's the next day. And I've got episode 6 up here ready to go. So to my memory, we're stuck in kind of the nightmare hotel floor. So that should be fun, I guess. And just a little time code on this one, 23:54. So sync up according to that. Radio, just going to jump right in. Going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. 8th floor. Yeah, okay, exactly where we left off. Arai, I gotta remember his name. And Kobeni. What does that do? Oh, so she... Yep. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty cute though too. Yeah, she's fun. I think we might be in trouble here. They did death flag last episode. Okay. Normal hotel room. Are we in some kind of Tatami Galaxy? Spoilers for Tatami Galaxy. I see. Interesting. Wonder what the significance of eighth is. So yeah, they're basically fucked. But we'll see. Lucky it's a banger. Kind of ruins a little bit of the dread. But you know, we don't care. I don't know. My eyes are just drawn to power. I don't know. Maybe is there something wrong with me? Maybe there is. Do not trust this lady. What's this here? What is glasses power? I keep asking that. I'm a glasses enjoyer, so you know. Hopefully our eyesight is poor. Stupid dumbasses. Alright, what are we doing? Where are we going? Why is Denji in bed? Interesting. She went for that one again. That's fun. Hmm. Interesting. I wonder what kind of devil it is. But they'll probably get trapped in too. Exactly. Nah, come on, head up, head up. We're going alright. Nah, we'll just eat each other. Send your brother to college. Oh. 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 Alright, that's not as nice. I feel bad for laughing. I didn't ask for this. Is power me? Thanks, Mum. Hmm. Hmm. 818. What is this 8 number? Got a lot of horses last ED. I don't know if there's a connection there. Oh, okay, that's a pretty bad implication. Denji! Denji, focus! Denji's a freak. Sleep with one eye open. Hello. That walking? Why make it look that good? Seems like everyone's going well. Toilet bowl water's actually fairly clean. She's gone nuts. Okay. So true. Politicians. You won't be very popular. Oh, okay, so she's always insane. Got it. Okay, cool. Is power based? Maybe. We need these two to do something, otherwise they're just like boring. Just like the scared ones. Hmm. Yeah, I'd put him on. Thought so. Bit of a flashback. It's bad for your bones. It's really not anymore. It would have been in the 80s and 90s though. The music, by the way. Oh yeah, this music hits like crazy. It's pain in the ass. Is that somebody's family member of a partner she used to have? Like you didn't save them. That's still not very nice. Ooh, Aki. Hayakawa. It's gone too crazy. Based. Hmm. Good, we got it back. Yeah, fuck her. Well, I know a couple. Why is the music so good? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Every single episode. Yeah, try the cigarette. It's a great episode, by the way, so far. Well, that's a lie. Not use the last one. Shut up, bitch. We're closer than you'll ever know. What's the bad news? Okay. Oh. Yeah, he's a lot bigger. Hmm. It is terrifying. Okay, this is very interesting. Especially the two that are going kind of crazy. Yeah, the rookies. Hmm. Okay. And apparently she's got the moves, right? Or not? What is it that you do? You have to figure out what it is you do. No. It's almost like the thing, you know? It only grows stronger as a result. It is terrifying. Well, everything has a weakness. I think it's well set up because they're kind of right. You know what I mean? Like on a pure egalitarian level. But of course, there's going to be some other solution. We're not going to let Denji die. Thanks, Power. Okay. You must die for my Nobel. Well, Denji's kind of a devil. Almost look like an eye on his sword. What's the sword? So it might kill Hayakawa. That seems like a power thing to do. The worst person. Well, is the fear fueling it? If so, we need to knock Corbeni out, like, permanently. I think Denji's gotta be a chainsaw boy. The Eternity Devil. Oh, 8! I get it. The world is turning. Nope. A lot of years. So, like, ages? Or he dies sooner? Oh, yeah, they came around the other side. That's cool. Oh. What the fuck? But why? For what purpose? Yeah? I see. Okay. Alright. Makes sense. This is very shonen. Hmm. Another partner dead. Every time. Same thing, right? And sorry about the mic. Okay. You're very weird. But it'll work. Hmm. Okay, Chainsaw Boy, what are we doing? Incredible. And hello? Oh, it's the ED. Okay. I was like, excuse me? What are we doing? That's really where we end? That's sad. Oh, that was a great episode. Probably my favorite so far. I think it hit more emotionally than the other episodes so far. I've heard this band too. So we're using the similar idea. I still didn't look up the name of the painting. But you know, the one with the stairs. The kind of shading here's cool. Bit of a weird musical choice. It's very happy. Well, I'd describe it as a bit more creepy than, you know, horrific, which is what the situation is. Radio, time to jump into a little bit of analysis on episode 6 of Chainsaw Man. So, yeah, I guess that was probably the most emotional episode so far. The one that had the most poignant backstory, the most history leading up to what is occurring right now, if that makes any sense, right? So, we got some of the stuff with Power and the cat like a few episodes ago, and yeah, it was good, you know, especially as a pet owner. Hits hard. But seeing two kind of grizzled, older, more jaded characters still, you know, this desperate was good. It was really good. I think we've created an interesting space to fight these things, and I think the enemy design is interesting. I like how it feeds off fear, you know, kind of feeding into the overall kind of mythos of the show. I think that's cool. They keep it visually interesting despite, you know, it essentially being all on the same floor. And I think the star of the episode, just overall, was probably Himeno. I thought she was the superior character in all of it. Power tried her best. God, she loves her antics, but you know, it's definitely Himeno. Her little backstory and her stuff with Hayakawa. It's tough because she calls him Aki, and other people call him Hayakawa Senpai. So I'm not sure what I want to call it. Aki is definitely easier, so might try to lean towards Aki now. I don't know. I don't know if we're that close. Either way, I've got the episode up right here, and I guess I can talk about some more stuff in the moment when it actually happens. So I think the first thing I'll highlight is 8. 8 is very interesting because it is the Eternity Devil, and 8 is also like the symbol for infinity. Kind of explains the premise of the kind of zone they're in. You can go one way infinite times and other way infinite times, and you'll never meet the other end because it's, you know, infinite. Again, I guess spoilers for Tatami Galaxy is kind of like a Tatami Galaxy, which is cool. Very different connotation. I mean, both were horrific in their own different ways, but this one, you know, more based on horror tropes, if that makes any sense. I will say right off the bat, like Kobeni and Arai, I get their motivation, but they're like annoying. Come on, man, stop being so annoying. Like, they don't know Denji and they value their own lives. I completely understand why they're acting this way. It just gets a little bit long in the tooth, I think. I think it'd be more effective if you showed a character that was more outwardly stable, slowly turn insane, than a character that's already pretty unstable turning that way. Like, these two were always kind of the nervous rookies. It was only natural that they would act this way given the circumstance. That being said, this piece part was really cute. How she's kind of screaming with the piece. That was good. Very good gag. So the thing about the show, right? Why do they make certain things look so good? Like, look at this piece of animation. Like, why did they have to go so hard? It's crazy. Just a massive flex. See, again, I was talking about this before. Same space, but we're using different shots to distort it all the time, different shadows, different lighting. So this is essentially the same room that most of the episode takes place in. But, you got this kind of angle shot. It's very dark, dingy. It's meant to make you feel uneasy. It's like a familiar space changed. There's a bit of a liminal space about it for sure. I like how you see some things that you only notice on a second viewing. So you can watch Hayakawa, or Aki. We're going to call him Aki. We're watching Aki right now, and he's looking at various clocks in the room, and that's something that he mentions later. Also, Denji's just in bed. So I guess we're in a situation, right? Okay, so let's split our characters. We got Orion Corbeni, who are hysterical and a little bit green and get nervous easily and want to take the easy way out. Then we have Denji and Power, who aren't taking this seriously enough and not scared at all and are joking around half the time. And then you got the two in the middle trying to keep it all together. And I feel for the two in the middle. Like, this is a bad team. I don't know what the plan was here, Makima. Like, these people are going to work badly together. Anyway, Denji is calm enough that he just goes to sleep, which is insane. Denji starts to blame Power, and then Power blames Denji, and they still got this kind of thing going on. I thought there was maybe some growth between kind of last arc and this one. Not really. But that's okay. We like them the way they are. The other interesting part is the piece of the gun devil that they have. It isn't reacting at all. So they think a piece is here, but wherever they are right now, it's not close enough to make the piece react. So again, we get into a little bit of the, I guess you would call it subversive stuff. So I guess my expectations surrounding this character were going to be that, who's the guy from Demon Slayer? You know the guy. He's silly and jokey and nervous and screams a lot, but then when he flicks the switch, he's really awesome. I thought it was going to be like that situation, and it still might be. And she has like this backstory, right? It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a devil hunter to get money for my brother to go into college. Very noble aspiration. Again, talking to the streams thing. And she cuts right through it. She's like, no, I kind of don't like my brother, and he's kind of the family, like he's the golden child, and I was forced to work basically to provide money for him. So it was be a devil hunter or be a sex worker. So her story like sucks. Like, she's in a bad way. And it's kind of hilarious. And I laughed, and then Power laughed, and that kind of, that kind of confirmed it for me that yes, it is meant to be kind of funny. I think her voice acting is pretty good here too, I must say. She kind of really sells the whole I'm demented thing. It is a little bit much in spots, but again, it's a pretty dire situation. You gotta act like this, right? I'd rather this than underacting. And yeah, and Power is a bad person and laughs at her. It's very funny. And Himeno still very calm. Hey, if you act scared, you're giving them what they want. Like how we still see Power smirking here as well. Very good. Nobody listens to this at all, and they all very much get scared and fuel the devil. I'm guessing that's why it got strong in the first place. Stuff like this, and what Arai's doing, kind of having his panic attack later on. And then yeah, Aki goes into the clocks, and all the clocks in the room are at 8:18 p.m. So you kind of got that 8 thing still going on, and you can't really have 888 because that isn't a time. So they got the next best thing. Let me check the seconds. Yeah, 8 seconds. Wait, no, more than 8 seconds. I'm dumb. Yeah, like 11 seconds. So 81811. Weird. Either way, the conclusion here is that time may be frozen, which is bad. It is really bad. So of course, the implication being that nobody will come save them. They're trapped in an infinite, eternal space. And Denji here, he sees the positives in that. He's like, hey, we can sleep all we want in this comfy bed. And I'm like, well, it makes sense for Denji to think this, but, other people want to get out and do stuff. And I know Denji does too, so obviously he can't stay here forever. I guess he's taking a full, half glass full approach. We might be trapped here forever, or we might not be. I think that type of positivity is important in these situations as well. And he deadass just sleeps. I think this is a moment when Aki realizes something, and maybe Himeno to an extent, right? He doesn't get scared, basically ever. He's seen enough in his life up to this point. His life has been bad enough that he doesn't kind of see the point. Also, he's kind of stupid, so he doesn't realize the danger that he's in. Either way, this makes him uniquely kind of suited to devil hunting, right? Maybe this is one of the other points where Aki goes, hey, I'm going to need this guy if I take on the Gun Devil. I think either way, that's why Himeno and Aki don't want to kill Denji, even though it would be in their character to kind of just sacrifice him. They see him as too important now that he's demonstrated this trait. Denji wakes up from his nap and there's a small time skip. Again, it's unclear how long it actually has been. Arai and Kobeni still scared, still kind of nervous and freaking out and all these other things. Aki's out patrolling, looking for the devil, but not having a lot of luck. Power's gone insane, and I guess Himeno's just kind of chilling, smoking, that kind of thing. Letting kind of Aki do his thing. When I said Power's gone insane, she's kind of gone super insane. So she was insane before. And I like how Denji's like, nah, Power's acting normal. So Power's going to win a Nobel Prize and then use that kind of power that she gets from that to run for Prime Minister. And then be Prime Minister of Japan and then put sales tax up to 100 to increase human suffering. Which, it's a plan, alright. So yeah, they take time to kind of watch these two as they're panicking. Kobeni is basically unconscious. And yeah, Arai's losing it quickly. This is some pretty good character work, I thought, here. So the conversation's introduced. Hey, I'm up to my last smoke. I'm smoking. Then it's like, hey, why are you smoking? Hey, sometimes a little bit of dependency is good. It's also the same brand that Aki smokes, and when Aki's on the job, I can relax. Bit of dependency is good, isn't it? So really associating kind of Aki with her nicotine, somewhat of a vice to make her feel better in these situations. And it's also something that the two share, because Aki comes in later looking for a cigarette. I thought it was pretty good stuff done pretty quickly as well. Now, this flashback slapped. I thought it was awesome. So first we get this really cool visual on the blimps. I thought this was really well done. In the color department, shot department, fantastic. Loved it. The music though. Oh my god, it's probably the first killer track from Kensuke Ushio. I want to go listen to that whole track right now. I want to go, write some stuff while I'm listening to it. I'll give you a little hint into the process when I'm kind of uploading these and making the thumbnails and doing all that kind of stuff. I will be listening to Kensuke Ushio's music. So that's how much I like it. Is my point. This is one of the best parts of the show for me for sure. So I guess here, Himeno is a little bit jaded, right? She sees kind of Aki as one of the people that have come before. She's a bit numb to the whole experience. She's used to losing partners. She's used to kind of losing people that are going after this gun devil. How is Aki going to be any different? And we see a bit later why. Aki said he's not dying anytime soon. Again, this whole death flag thing going on, which we learn a little bit more about later and why it's such a concern. And then Himeno says losing a partner is a pain in the ass. And this is why. Such emotional kind of baggage placed on her by those close. I mean, these people can't go after the devils themselves. Of course, they're going to blame the partner. It's almost like a cop story, right? If somebody dies in the line of duty, you blame kind of the system rather than the person that actually did it. Definitely seen this trope before, but I think it's pretty well done here. And here's where we see why Aki is different. He's a different kind of partner. So without a word, he leaves, right? So initially you think he's going to edgelord out, right? He's going to, how dare you do that to my waifu and all this other shit. But I love how innocuous the little thing he did was, right? So he put the gum kind of on her clothes, and later she's going to find some gum in her clothes, and that sucks. But it's also not outwardly disrespectful to somebody whose partner has just died. I think it hit a good balance. It was, some comeuppance for what she actually did, but not bad enough that it would seem like unsavory, if that makes any sense. And this is kind of the moment. She's like, hey, I can depend on this guy a little bit. He has my best interests in mind. So this laugh here, it's also, the situation is somewhat ridiculous, but also a relief off my shoulders. Again, very well done flashback. Loved it. We saw this master that she's talking about before at some point as well. And here's the very important line. They fear devil hunters who have a screw loose. So, hey, we can't get rid of Denji because he might be, the one that they actually fear. Also, to a certain extent, Power as well, but Power's situation is a little bit different. And yeah, Aki lies here because he comes in later looking for the cigarette. Maybe he has his dependencies as well. And there's a reason why he goes straight for the cigarette, right? He's just seen what's coming. He knows that the bad is on the way. And okay, I need a little bit of nicotine just quickly to tide me over. And am I wrong? Is there something going on here? Maybe a little bit. Maybe I don't know. They're so stoic, the two of them, and it's hard to tell. And yeah, we get maybe the most horrific design so far. I probably don't like the worm more, or keep calling it the worm, the leech. This is way more inspired by Cronenberg, The Thing, The Blob, all these kind of older horror stories. This is kind of amalgamation, moving forth, consuming everything that it sees. And here's the stakes for the rest of the episode. And this is where it really flipped again, and I'm like, this is awesome. So, based on the character dynamics we've seen so far, these characters in conflict with each other pretty constantly. If you give up Denji, we'll all let you go. It's sweet, right? But also begs the question of why they want Denji, which we're going to dive into next episode a little bit, I feel. But either way, this was a great mix-up of the dynamics and kind of propels the episode into its second half. And as we see here, I still don't know what Kobeni's deal is, right? Because here's where I thought the stakes was going to rise again, right? Himeno said that she's competent. She's got some moves, right? I haven't seen him yet. Maybe she's too nervous to pull him off, but yeah, apparently she does something. And I thought it was going to be she's actually super competent, like a real force, and Denji's going to have to run to survive and do all these kind of things. So now he's simultaneously running from his friends and this enemy. But that's not really what occurs. This will be important for next episode as well. Himeno then tries to use the ghost arm after kind of Aki tries to use the old kitsune and doesn't work because they're kind of in this weird different space. Himeno tries to bleed it out a little bit, kind of burn it down, do all these kind of things, right? And it just gets stronger. So maybe after it sustains a significant amount of damage, not buoyed by so much fear, that's when we'll see it to actually start to crack. But we're going to have to see. I think the way this thing moves is really awesome. I love how the faces just keep kind of growing out of each other. Pretty creepy. Here we get the explanation of a contract. This is where I thought Himeno was going to turn as well, but that doesn't happen. So basically, neither side can lie or break the contract or they die. Again, kind of similar to Jujutsu Kaisen. I think they have a similar kind of pact system in that show. And this is where Arai starts to turn as well. Hey, we should kill him. It's the best way out of here. It's the most egalitarian approach, right? Lose one for the sake of all. And they think the situation's hopeless and this is the only way to proceed. And I will say they do a good job of setting up as relatively hopeless as well. Is this kind of the dependency thing as well? So Himeno's like, I'm just with him. Whatever Aki says, it goes. And Aki's thinking about it logically. He's like, there's a reason why they want Denji. They fear Denji, right? And as soon as Denji's gone, then the devils will, run amok even more. I don't know if they can communicate with each other, but I'm guessing that most devils want Denji dead. They see him as very powerful. And then chaotic old power just says we should kill him anyway. For the Nobel, I will kill you for my Nobel. Pretty good line. I think that's good. Good setup, good payoff. Good comedy all round. It's another great line by Aki. We're devil hunters, we only kill devils. But is Denji a devil? Think about it. So first we get a shot of the sword, and I'm like, oh, that sword's interesting. And then he turns to talk about it. If we really run out of options, I'll use the sword. Himeno was lying down. She's immediately back up in his face. No, you won't. So the sword is important, and we learn later that it takes some life off of his life. I don't know how that works. I don't know if he ages up or it kind of cuts his life expectancy down. Either way, if he uses the sword, it'll get us out of basically any problem, but Aki will surely be close to death in the process. It's like a nuke, right? So that's why he always keeps it on his back, but never actually uses it. That kind of explains that. It's a good explanation. In case things go really south, I've got this, but I don't want to use it. And this is where Himeno's kind of limit is, right? If Aki has to use that sword, you're dying, Denji, right? If we're really out of options up to that point, you have to die. And then, just to exacerbate the issues, to put a, bit more of a timer on everything, Power eats all the food. Again, she's just the worst, but we love her. But she's the worst. Just the worst roommate, the worst hostage situation mate. She's bad. She's bad at what she does. And again, blaming Denji. Again, devils don't lie. Humans lie. No, they don't. You're weird. Kobeni's still going nuts. We have to kill Power. Power's actually the one behind this all. And yes, Power is not helping the situation. Just kind of, again, exacerbating the issue. She really shouldn't be here. And here we see the most definite kind of correlation between fear and strength. Kind of, Kobeni screams and then it grows way stronger and starts to take on most of the floor. And yeah, that's where we see the idea of the 8 come through, and then it all clicks. And I'm like, that's why everything's 8. It's at this point that the kind of devil is heavy enough that it is weighing down the entire space to the point where gravity changes. So, again, we're playing with the same space, but we're moving the gravity, again, making it, distinct and interesting to look at. So on one side of the kind of hole, we have these two that are saying, hey, just kill him, and then on the other side, you have the people that have his back. So then Aki says, hey, it's time for me to use the sword. Himeno immediately disagrees and uses her ghost arm to hold Aki back. Himeno kind of explains the rules I explained earlier around the sword and why it's important that he doesn't use it. And then, hey, the mechanics of the space come into play again, right? And the two that went on the other side of the hole are now on this side because they went the long way around. Smart. And here's the climactic moment. Kobeni goes to stab Denji as Arai holds him down. And yeah, somebody jumps in the way. Aki does. He jumps in the way. And at first I'm like, this doesn't really make a lot of sense, but then he explains why. I think talking to our themes before, this is where kind of the whole noble intention argument goes out the window for Aki. He may deserve to be stabbed a couple times, but he wants the gun devil dead, and that's more important. I don't care what motivates him to get there, I want this thing done too, and as long as he gets it done, then, we're all going to be okay. This simultaneously makes Denji's also actions a little more noble. And we'll talk about his line later as well. But yeah, it makes sense, right? Aki's whole thing, gun devil dead. To the point where I'm pretty sure he's going to use the sword on the gun devil at some point. Even if that doesn't entirely kill him, it will be a piece of that puzzle. And as long as Denji's around and strong enough and doesn't have the fear, again, he's strong enough to take on said gun devil as well, he doesn't want him dead, and he's willing to put his own life in the way of that. Again, makes perfect sense from something that was initially a little bit questionable. I like how Power kind of seriouses up here. I'm going to use my blood powers to try and hold Hayakawa's blood back, or Aki's blood back. And again, similar technique to Denji, almost in a tsundere-esque way, right? I'm going to use a different justification for doing something noble. I'd need a new cook if Top Knot died, so I'm going to keep Top Knot alive. That's important, right? It's for the chef, it's not for any other reasons, right? And these flashes here by Himeno, as she's kind of breaking down a little bit, I'm guessing these are her former partners. It's been a while since she's had a partner die, and all these kind of repressed feelings are probably coming back. And yeah, devastating for her. This was really well done. I really buy into Himeno's story from basically one episode of setup. I think it's really well done. Kobeni's still a little bit nuts here. She goes, it's all because of you, Denji. This isn't my fault. And he's like, yeah, I get it. And yeah, he's going to take actions into his own hands. And here's where we get that line. So he's going to do the noble thing. He's going to try to sacrifice himself here, or give it his best shot to be sacrificed, but also probably win a fight. but he's still writing it off, right? He isn't moved by Aki's decision to save him. Of course he isn't. No, no, no. It's all about the kiss. It has to be the kiss. I just like how the show is looking at the very notion of character motivation and kind of questioning it at every turn. Again, kind of subversive in that way. I think it's one of the more interesting parts of the show. Again, his plan isn't merely to be sacrificed. I figure if I can tear it up until it can't take the pain anymore, it'll die and we'll be out of here. I can't believe you did that for me. Nobody asked you, asshole. Yeah, Denji feels a little bit guilty for sure. Maybe not taking this as seriously initially as well. He may feel guilty for that as well. And yeah, in a fantastically elaborate sequence, we see Denji fall into the abyss, right down into the eternity itself. And end of the episode. And this one really caught me by surprise. I thought the episode would continue from there, but nope, we're out of time. And we've got a new ED to look at as well. But just some final thoughts on the episode itself. Yeah, really good. Probably my favorite so far. Just slaps front to back. The kind of emotional resonance of it all is probably the standout. This is the first one that actually got to me on that level. As well as just being a pretty cool, horror concept executed well. Yeah, it's good. I wasn't that impressed by this ED. The song is a little more, I don't know, spooky rather than horrific, if that makes any sense. And we're still using the similar ideas with, I'm just going to look up what the stair painting is. Bear with me. Relativity by MC Escher, or Escher. Oh yeah, I think I've heard an Escher painting before. Okay. I see. So I'm sure everybody in the comments will tell me as well, but yeah, an Escher painting. And yeah, that painting being called Relativity, and then the Eternity, and then not being being trapped into space, like kind of eternal distance, infinite distance. Yeah, it makes sense. I think some of the flashes we get here that I'll try to pause on are poignant as well. Here's that kind of grave flashback we saw before, very, very resonant for Himeno, I'm guessing. I think the color scheme in the kind of ending here is cool, very grayscale, except for, your reds and a few other separate colors. Yeah, this kind of stuff. It's a little bit different than the actual anime art style itself. So yeah, we get some. Maybe these are even manga panels. I don't know. I haven't seen the manga's art style, but yeah, they definitely happened in the episode. And then some of these are relevant for Denji. So there's Pochita, and then that, and then there's one for Power as well, with good old Meowie, good old kitty cat. That's an Aki one of when his kind of house gets exploded. Himeno and Denji. Denji after Makima, but still with the chainsaw head. Interesting. And yeah, that's the end of that episode. As I said, really great episode. Loved it. ED was, pretty good. Probably one of the worst ones so far, but still, very effortful. And yeah, I don't know where we're going next. Seemingly Denji is going to be down in this thing's stomach. Maybe we're going to have another space in there that we're going to fight something or somebody, and that's how we're going to solve this conundrum. I'd like to see some further development for Kobeni and Arai. Maybe once we're out of here, an apology for Denji, or something else, or, them to actually do something to try and solve the problem. Right now, they're just hindering. Power's just hindering, but also I just like Power, so I don't know. They've got a long way to come to be likable characters for me, but, it's very early in the show. But yeah, excited for next week. I may do 2, I may do 1. Probably do 1, depending on schedule. But yeah, thank you very much for watching again. I'll do my show stuff quickly. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I can do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like a follow back. And the Discord, join the Discord, love the Discord. Discord. Talk about Chainsaw Man, talk about Monogatari, talk about Symphogear, talk about anything else. And yeah, thank you very much for watching this week. Hope to catch you next week for more Chainsaw Man. So thank you very much, and I'll catch you later.